Hello, everyone. My name is Aakash Shah, and today I would like to kind of give you some insight into product management. I'm currently working at Amazon Web Services as a product manager. So let's get started. Next slide, please. So I'm keeping the agenda quite simple. First, it's divided into two pieces. One piece is the product development process, and another is domain-specific media entertainment section. So let's get started. First thing we will talk about in understanding product management, stages of different product development processes. And then in media entertainment, we will talk about how cloud is really taking over the various workflows for media entertainment and how it is really influencing the cloud maturity. And we will also talk about how fast the cloud in media entertainment is changing and requires a lot of innovation. So let's get started. Next slide, please. So before I jump into this, first I really like to talk about what product management is and if you are a really good fit for it or is it for you or not. Okay, and I want to encourage a lot of students who are looking to get into this pathway of becoming a product manager. It's a great career choice. But I want to just kind of give you some insights into what I feel some of the attributes you should have becoming a successful product manager. I think general curiosity is the number one trait that you should have, and it should be genuine, and it should come from within. Nobody can really tell you what it is and what you need to do next. You need to constantly evolve yourself and kind of throw yourself into challenges and new learnings and various technologies where you don't know anything about, but you're understanding them. And then somehow you're trying to connect all of those dots and trying to make your product vision complete with developing different and new products. So please make sure you have that genuine curiosity. Otherwise, this is a really glamorous role. However, the truth is it's not really a glamorous role within. It actually takes a lot of effort, and there's a lot of grit required to be a successful product manager. The second aspect, I would say, is the enthusiasm. So the speed is not preordained, and it is a choice from your side. So if you take things seriously and you start to kind of move the needle and take extra steps, that's how you can really become a successful product manager. Again, yes, the product manager role has definition, and you can kind of follow the definition of the product manager and the pathway ahead. But a lot is not said, and for that you need to take next steps and first steps, and nobody's going to really tell you that, okay, these are the next steps I want you to do. Yes, there are some processes you need to follow, but make sure that you are taking that extra step forward every time and taking speed into account when you do so. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of how you can start developing a product and execute it and then see the feedback. So the first thing starts with anything is the research. And it's as simple as it can get, is you researching about the targeted section of the things that you want to develop the product for. So just make sure that one of the caveat here is that you want to keep your research into focus. You don't want to really broaden the horizon too much, otherwise you can kind of dabble into many other things. And so the key here in the research is to make sure that you're laser focused on the aspect or on the larger issue that you're trying to resolve so that you stay focused. Everybody has a different way of researching. Pen and paper, whiteboarding, I think is the best way to go in terms of visualizing what you are researching, what are some of the pain points and some of the ideas you found and some of the opportunities and challenges. So write them down on whiteboard, and I think that is the best way to go. I personally use a lot of whiteboard. Right behind here is all whiteboard, and I use it to kind of draw my ideas, write random things, and then I'm going to go back and look at those, because as it's visual to you, it becomes really easy for you to kind of go back to. So just an idea. Second is Now that you have done the research, now you want to put them all into a proper document that could be read by your team members. So just make sure that your document speaks for itself when you're not present in the room. It needs to have all the details, enough details for anyone new to understand that what you're trying to convey and what kind of product roadmap you are building. But at the same time, it needs to be flexible. So don't really go into all the way into the details where what kind of button and the color of button needs to be for the user interface. Just keep things flexible, yet having the larger vision intact. So do so, and then make sure that all the team members are able to kind of understand without your being there. So that's the most important part. Your document needs to speak for itself, and it needs to be self-explanatory. Now we are in the design section. This is where you can kind of now go into nitty-gritty of each section, each division, different functions, and kind of really go down to the very detailed level and design each aspect of the product development. Over here, you might want to now be more explicit about certain things you would like to have for the user experience, and certain things you are, staying away from. You might want to be like, clarify those. You don't want to keep those open at this time. Now you are tightening those loose ends, and you're really making and giving a shape to the product. So this is a fun experience for me to kind of really brainstorm with the team. First, of course, you bring your ideas and show it to the team, but also keep the floor really open to any suggestions and be able to adapt to any new ideas if somebody else is giving you a better one. So always be open to suggestions, open to critical feedback, and be able to mold your idea in account for those changes. Now that if the design is approved and you are happy with it, and your managers are also happy with it, and you have done your due diligence and crossing all the dots and T's, now we want to take the step to get into a product development more, meaning working with different teammates and developers and UI testers and beta testers and many other testers and different group of members in the team to start giving them different pieces to work on, and also make sure you don't get overburdened by this. So you always need to get help from project management side. So it is a little bit of an overwhelming feeling when you first start sprints, or however your methodology is in terms of product development. But make sure that you engage the project management and program management folks to really give you that support, so that you can kind of focus on the core aspect of development and not the program and the project aspect of it. Of course, it is important for you to do many of them at the same time, but it is advisable for you to kind of take a step back and kind of focus on the product development, resolving queries from the developers and testers, and understanding if the path is going forward smoothly. The next I would talk about is the defects. And this is one of those sections that is not pretty. And it's not going to be for anyone, I think. This is where you're checking your defects, you're trying to find different flaws within your product development, be able to kind of prioritize them. So you can come across something that, okay, this is not a really big deal at this point. I would like to come back to this and kind of resolve this at a later point of time. That's completely fine. And then there could be something that can actually be very strategic in terms of changing the entirety of the product that you're developing. And those defects will be the core of your focus. You want to make sure that they are resolved. You want to make sure that they are resolved, and you understand that what happened within, because those are the learnings you will take with you when you go and do a next project. So watch out for those. Again, it's a tedious process to kind of go back and forth on those defects and work with the team to kind of identify what was the core issue. but these are the things that will add value to your profile, to you, to take the new project and execute it even better than this. So watch out for those. And now product launch. Now this could be different for different companies. The company that I'm working with, they have a go-to-market strategy team where I get to connect with the strategists who have the best knowledge in the industry of the domain that you're working in, and they can guide you. Okay, there are a couple of conferences happening in Vegas, a couple of conferences happening in Amsterdam, and you should fly there and do your presentation to the customers. You should watch out for these partners. You should connect with them. And I will dive deep into that media side of things in the later half of this presentation. But this could be in many ways. So in previous companies, we had a beta testing, we had some targeted segment testing done, and to really see the feedback and see if it's really getting adopted by the customer and the way you want the adoption to take place. And again, this is the place where you might very well come and learn that you were wrong all along, and it is okay. A lot of product managers, including myself, we really get sad and kind of self-critical of our understanding of product management when certain things don't work out the way they should. And I think this is the hard part of being the product manager, because you can put each and everything with the best of your efforts, and it might not be still well received by the customer. But then there is opportunity, right? You can learn from this. You can absolutely understand the core reasons why that particular aspect of the product didn't work out for the customers, and kind of take that with you for the next project and actually be better at it. So is there a shortcut not having this negative feedback? No, absolutely not. And it's going to happen. It will happen to each and every one of us. But it is the best part to learn. And going back to the couple of traits that I was mentioning before for being a product manager is enthusiasm and curiosity. So if you have one of them lacking, this particular step will kind of get you back to the out of bounds, and will kind of convey to you that, okay, this is probably not for me. I'm not happy with my work. But if you are enthusiastic and you're curious, you're going to actually learn from this and kind of bounce back and kind of take the new project on with a greater vision next time. So, and now you get the feedback. So once you launch the product and you're learning the feedbacks, and you will also learn many things that actually worked even better than your expectations. And that is amazing feeling. And that's when you see that the customer adoption was even better than when you expected, and the user interface and user experience with less defects and just everything works out the way and probably better. That's when you know that whatever you did in the past actually worked out, and now you know what to repeat and what to not repeat next time. So it's a journey. Everybody learns from this. It is not one person's job to be responsible for the entire success of the project. So being a product manager, yes, you are one of the guiding forces for the project, but at the same time, you're part of the team, and you are learning, and the team is also learning. So the important part is you're enjoying this journey. So, all right. So let's go to the next slide now. Okay, so that's why I wanted to divide this into sections. First, being the product management and the process. Second, about domain-specific, industry-specific knowledge. So I've been part of the media and entertainment division and the industry for like 10 years. What it does for me is that I have in-depth knowledge of media workflows that works on premises. And then I also, working at AWS, also gives me insight into how those workflows can be brought into cloud. Okay. Media industry is really fast changing. And the reason behind it is that the adoption to cloud is very high. So let's look at the finance industry, let's look at the oil and gas industry or many other manufacturing industry. The cloud adoption, the workflows that are taking place in premises are only taking place 4 to 6% on cloud. So that's the adoption rate for those industries. While in the media industry, it is 24 to 36%. And so that shows the maturity of media industry to kind of grow in the cloud and understand the value of those workloads and efficiencies. So it also presents different challenges. The challenges being, because you have a high customer adoption, you have many different partners to work with, media partners to work with. So AWS not only has its own sets of innovation and solutions for media partners, but they also work with various vendors and partners, trusted partners, who has bits and pieces of really critical technology that completes the end-to-end video workflows. So you get to learn with all the vendors. You're also working with core AWS technologies in Media Elemental and Media Tailor, Media Live. And also you're working on your own roadmaps to kind of bridge the gaps. So it's a super exciting industry, if I were to say that out loud. And I really enjoy my work in a way that it gives me ability to kind of work on the current problems, see the future opportunities, and see the scope and taking place in this entire industry. So it's just really awesome to work in. So high customer adoption presents you with a different challenge, is the challenge for need for innovation. So if the customer is very adaptive of cloud, that means they know a lot more than usual other industry customers, for such as manufacturing or finance customers, right? That means now they want not only to move their workflows, video workflows, from in-premises to cloud, but they also want to do more into cloud that was not done on premises. So now that's where the real opportunity lies, where you learn how can you bring your media customer new technology that can be done on cloud, that is more efficient, more cost-effective, and really customer savvy. So going and understanding that is a key function of my job. Also, what I do is I talk to various partners, understand their set of technology that they're bringing, and then understand what my employer, my company is bringing to the table, and see the gaps in between, and see how can I bring and fill those gaps for the customer. And how can I bring more value to the customer by making that more efficient? And then how can I bring that learning to the rest of the media customers that I have, right? So it's a very tight community. You have various pillars of media entertainment. You can have broadcast, you have media supply chain, you have direct to consumer, you have monetization, and you have ad tech and market tech. This is advertising tech and marketing tech. So, and within these pillars, you have so much more to learn on each pillar, and you have different technologies to work on. And when you work with giant companies like Disney, Fox, Netflix, Hulu, you really understand what their viewpoint is, mindset is. And you need to understand that you need to start thinking like a salesperson also. It is one thing to develop something that could be really helpful for the customer, but it is also something you need to understand that can you sell that to the customer, right? So you're working backwards from that. You wanna first identify a problem. You wanna write the business solution, that why do you think that solving that particular problem is in the benefit of the company and the customer. And you want to create those matrix around it and write that document, read it yourself, share it to your peers, share it with your mentors, and get feedback. And before you start and pitch that new product development for that particular gap, you want to ask yourself, let's say this product worked for the customer. What value is it going to bring eventually? And it needs to be greater than something that is already currently working for them. So uh, it is a product development, but then also you need to think it from a viewpoint of a salesperson, that because you're dealing with these large customers, you need to understand that the problem that you're solving are also equally important to them, are also equally enticing for them to buy from you and your company, and worth resolving. So some key to their understanding there. Now, this could be very high level, and I would love to dive deep into with you if you're interested in learning more about each pillars and each pillar of media entertainment, and what some of the pillars could be really beneficial to you for you to understand, and maybe it will be applicable for your next job or your career path right now. But there's more to it, and I just wanted this session to be very introductory at a very high level, so that I can kind of give you a glimpse of what I do on daily basis and what I've learned so far in media entertainment, right? So if you don't mind, next slide, please. So this is my information. Feel free to reach out to me. I thank Product School for really making this platform available for all the students who are looking to grow in this path. I think it's a great path for many of us. And if it is for you, then please reach out to me if you're interested, and I'm more than happy to kind of mentor you, kind of show you some ropes and whatever I can provide for help. I also thank Product School for making this platform, because it's quite important and really curious to see that our schooling systems and our colleges and education institutions are helping us, but the Product School and many platforms like Product Schools are the ones that really makes the difference for you to really see that what it takes for becoming a product manager. So, and what kind of processes and what kind of documentation and skills you need to have to be a successful product manager. So I really encourage you to join Product School and many other platforms like this to understand, because I think this is very organic, and you're learning from someone who's already doing the said job. So yeah, kudos to Product School. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time.